Mr. Cave story time. Are you ready? Fine. A month ago, I had a worst experience. I was thinking back on my young childhood and thought about what my favorite game was. Of course, I like the classic games like NES and Super Nintendo. But I always had a thing for the GameCube. So one day I just decided that I would go to my local GameStop to see if I could get a copy of Super Mario Sunshine. Now as I got there, I asked the employee if he had any copies of the game left. To my surprise, he actually had one copy left. But he said, the owner that gave us this game looked terrified. Well, I just thought that this was just a story, and I bought the game for $20. Now as I got back home after being gone for probably half an hour or so, I plugged the old GameCube system in and was ready to go. Sure, the disc had some scratches here and there, but it worked just fine. Now, as I got to the main menu, I noticed that Super Mario wasn't saying Super Mario Sunshine. He didn't say anything at the beginning. Well, it's an old game, maybe it's just hitching or something. Or just probably have some problem with its audio. Now, as I got to the first mission, of course, where you have to get flood and you have to, clean the first place. Now, after I destroyed the piranha flower with the brown-white paint on, you see the cutscene where Mario gets arrested and, well, what happened from there I will actually never forget. Mario, what do you think about this? Guilty or not guilty? Someone has destroyed a beautiful Isle Delfino place, and you are said to be responsible for this crime. I plead not guilty. Well, you're guilty. And what happened was that he got arrested and got in jail, of course, but the cell was nothing like I ever seen before. It was a dark and rusty little cell with just a hard object to sleep on. Mario started to cry. Started to beg. He started to beg for being released, that he was not guilty for the crimes. Well, they made a deal with him. If he cleaned Isle Delfino, he would be free to go. Now, then I got to the first mission, and I was disturbed because this cutscene was new. This wasn't the old. Now, then I got to clean the first, or when you got to Isle Delfino and you take the first piranha flower to get to the first mission. Now, then, after that, you see the statue that suddenly comes up from the ground, and you see the fake Mario. Only that this time he looked the same, but God, his eyes were they were like glowing red and so evil looking. And then he jumped off and kidnapped the princess and said, "Catch me if you can," and started to run. I ran, of course, after him and started to spatter water at him with the flood. But what happened is the most disturbing part I ever seen in a video game before. When I splattered water on him, he started to scream. He started to scream with this awful scream that was nothing like I ever heard before. Now, after that, I saw that his eyes started to bleed. Oh my God, what is this? And after I defeated him, he was laying on the ground. He was screaming of pain. He started to bleed all over his body and suddenly stood up and said, "This is your fault, Mario. But you can't catch me." And he started to run to the first mission. You know, where he paints on the statue and jumps in. Of course I jumped after him, just like normal, and got to the first mission. But the title was Evil Mario, Evil Mario. Now I started the mission and noticed that the place had black skies with blood-red clouds, and it was raining blood, and skulls were on the ground. All the people of Isle Delfino was laying dead on the ground. Now I started to run after him, and suddenly he started to run after me instead. Of course I was running for my life, and I tried to run, but he was too fast for me. But I finally shaked him off and got to the top where the big piranha plant is standing, and you know, you make him jump, you make him crack the roof and jump down where Mario falls after him. But that was not what happened. The blue Mario, or Shadow Mario, whatever you like to call him, was standing there before me. Now, how could that happen? And he said, "Found you." And he touched Mario, and Mario started to bleed just like he did before that, and he died, and this evil laughter was coming. He was just kind of giggling. And I received a message. The message simply said, "Do you want to play with me again?"